Welcome back to Cold Front Convos. I'm Adam, here with Alex in the blue hoodie, Mitch in the red shirt, and Goose, sans quarter zip this week. Maybe we'll get back on that train next time.
V-neck. No, it's just shadow. All
right.
No V-neck here. No V-neck here.
All right.
No, you'd see more chest
There's
hair than
more
shirt.
more sweater than.
Yeah.
So we'll get right into it. We had a very tight and stressful Bills game against the Miami Dolphins this past week. And to be honest with you, I thought it'd be close second time we played them, all that kind of stuff. But the game was a lot more contested than I thought it would be. And I was very, dare I say it, impressed with the Miami offense pretty much the entire game. And I felt like Tua played a great game.
I think the word of the game was efficient, as the announcer said 74,000 times. But
yeah,
I mean, you can't disagree. 3 incompletions for the entire game.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So
Defense didn't really play all that well. Couldn't stop the run. Just bad third down. Yeah, bad third down. Defense and.
I was 30-27 sounds like, from an offensive standpoint anyways, for the Bills. I mean, it seems like they score 30 every week, which is, a blessing, I guess, in the NFL realm. But 30 against the Dolphins is not that it's pedestrian, right? But it's what you expect with the Bills offense.
Yeah. Well, I think at the end of the day, you add in Coleman's touchdown that was actually an interception because it bounced off his chest. Sure. And then you have 2 back-to-back holding calls that stall a drive that were non-existent, ghost calls, if you will. And you add 14 more to the score. So, I mean, you're looking at a 44-27 game at the end of the day, I think, more so. In reflection, obviously, at the end of the day, the scoreboard is what it is. But reflection-wise, I think the offense played better, more consistent throughout the entire game. A few bad drives, and but here and there. But I think that's Coleman going down at the end of the game too is not going to look good for this week going into Indianapolis, which people are calling, which could be a trap game.
Yeah, I was the wide receivers again just having trouble getting separation though with Cooper not there. It's just like those things just keep popping up all the time, especially next week if Coleman's out. I mean, who are you going to take his spot that's going to be able to break away from? I mean, I know that, it shouldn't be that big of a challenge for him, but still, like, down pretty good amount of...
Well, and Jonathan Taylor's healthy. So what does that mean for our defense? Out 2 defensive tackles. Just signed Jordan Phillips back, which was, I think, a great signing.
And they signed
Quentin
somebody
Johnson
else, too.
Quentin Johnson, So I think filling those gaps, obviously it's going to be a slow start for him. I think more so for Johnson than Phillips, but we'll see what that run game brings next week with a healthy Taylor.
On the offensive side of the ball, I mean, Cook I thought ran well, but he only got 10 carries.
Yeah.
Ty
Davis,
Johnson
man,
got. Oh, I thought you were going to say something.
No, I'm just saying Davis he's been a horse. He hits the hole hard and he's a lot of yards after contact.
He had 4 carries for 20 yards.
Yeah.
Ty Johnson had 3 for 23, but it was a 17-yard long. So one good run. I mean, Davis made a hell of a play on that little outlet pass that he ran, 60 yards.
Yeah.
Broke the tackle. But, I mean, it's we didn't run the ball as much as I thought we would against Miami, considering how that last game against them went. Cook had 95 and 3 touchdowns last time against Miami. And Allen threw the ball about 40 times, 39 times.
37, 38, something like that. Yeah.
Like upper 30s.
Yeah.
A lot more than they want him to, and with that he should have to.
Right. I agree. So that all being said, Allen threw 3 touchdowns, 1 pick that bounced off Coleman's chest, like Mitch mentioned. and
a rush touchdown called back.
a rush. Yeah, right. A couple.
So looking at a 5 touchdown day. Put him. I think that would probably put him tied with Lamar for MVP. I mean, Lamar had had a good day, but that would put him.
The fact that Lamar is even in this conversation for MVP is just it shouldn't even be. I mean, the only reason that they're doing as well as they are is because they added Derrick Henry. That is the only reason they are doing as well as they are doing. Derrick Henry.
I mean, how many passing touchdowns does
every game
Lamar have on the season?
I don't know. Not as many as Josh knows.
Mahomes just had what, 3?
Mahomes has, yeah. I mean, Mahomes had more interceptions than he did touchdowns.
He was 6 TDs, 8 picks, and I think he's at 9-8 now, maybe. But he's 8 now, which is also incredible to me. I mean, who made the Tampa Bay pick? Alex. Alex made the Tampa Bay pick last week, right?
Yeah.
And you knew more than we did. You still lost.
I was so mad about that.
Well, Mitch,
I had Hunt in my fantasy league, so I ended up winning because of that. But I was still pissed.
I mean, I cashed out on a nice bet.
20 touchdowns, 2 picks this year.
Yeah,
Lamar?
And Josh has 17 touchdowns.
Yeah. So,
And 2 picks.
Right.
And 2
I mean,
picks.
if we're gonna go off of that, like
Neither
you
of them
could
his
throw
fault.
like Joe Burrow though in that conversation for MVP. If you're gonna go that, I mean, if the Bengals had more wins,
but Joe Burrow
he'd be
doesn't have
MVP
rushing yards like Lamar
conversation.
does. So
Yeah,
I mean,
but
nor winning.
I think also though a lot of Allen's stuff is, you just don't even know how he does it. Like that touchdown to Morris, like how. I mean, he was pretty much getting tackled by 2 guys and he got that off.
Yeah.
I mean, Lamar's not doing that stuff.
Well, and I think Josh is doing it with less. So, more so putting the team on his back, more so creating plays with his arm, putting the ball in places that shouldn't be there to make the completions. So, Lamar, you don't see that from Lamar at all.
No. But besides, take Mark Andrews out of the conversation. Who were the top 3 receivers in Baltimore?
Zay Flowers. They just signed the guy from Carolina.
Bateman. They got Bateman.
And
then they got. Then they just got
Johnson just got
Jackson.
Yeah. So Zay Flowers definitely a top tier guy, I think, right? But
likely they're tight end.
Likely they got 3 good tight ends.
Yeah, but I think Andrews likely are what Kincaid last year. Kincaid and Knox were. Now this year, Dawson Knox has put on, it looks like 25 pounds to block. But I just don't know that, not to say less, right? When Amari Cooper's healthy, and Coleman's playing the way he has been, we'll see with this wrist injury. I was looking on Twitter today, and some people were thinking that it might even be an IR situation for him, which would suck.
Well, and they're being very tight-lipped about it. So,
right. But you figure Cooper healthy, Keon healthy, I think Buffalo has more weapons than Baltimore does. Not in the receivers room, not in the overall offense, because Derrick Henry he's better than James Cook.
And I think they have their offensive lines are very comparable to each other too. I mean, Josh is the least sack quarterback in the league, which is, obviously great stats to have.
And he gets a lot of that because of the escapability, obviously. But at the same time,
so does Lamar.
I agree 100%. They do a good job of trying to keep him as clean. Either he gets, obviously he runs away, right? He leaves the pocket, but either he gets sacked or he's gone. There's not a lot of him getting hit after the play unless it's like the play on Morris, or he's outside of the pocket already and stuff like that. He doesn't get tagged up a lot like a lot of other QBs do. So, but 30-27, they did a great job in the first half of nullifying Hill and Waddle.
Yeah, Waddle had one reception throughout until the fourth quarter. He got a second or 0 until the fourth quarter.
I don't think he had any receptions until the fourth quarter.
Right.
I think he only had one. I think he had one target in the first half, and then he got his second target, and he got his first catch in the fourth quarter, and it was on like that last drive or something.
Yeah,
and then he got hurt.
Doing the touchdown on the last drive.
Killing me on my fantasy team. That sucks for Miami, though. They just gave that guy a lot of money. They paid him a number 1 receiver's salary, and he doesn't get the ball.
I think it's more. I mean, he's been hurt on and off, like not out hurt, but hindered. I think. But that being said, that offense, it lives or dies on Tua.
Right.
Yeah.
But you saw with Skylar Thompson and Huntley, those guys are not either that's reading the field or getting the ball out of their hands fast. I don't know what it is, but Tua in that offense makes or breaks it.
Yeah.
If he's playing well, they're going to move the ball. Even when we knew they had to throw. McDermott has done a good job in his career, minus the 13 seconds game, of limiting Tyreek Hill. And I mean, Kelsey has killed us in the past, obviously, but he hasn't done well against us. He averages like 34 yards a game.
Yeah, they've never given a big amount of yards against any team, though. Like, they're pretty good with keeping that close. They're not letting anybody get by them. Except for Hill had that one catch for like what,
down the left sideline.
Yeah,
but other than that, he didn't.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that was where the linebackers got stuck together, and he caught it across the middle.
Yeah. You wonder, like, you're kind of surprised, like, the fact that Mike McDaniel wasn't able to do anything with, like, Skylar Thompson or somebody, like, to make them look better than what they are coming from that Kyle Shanahan tree. You know what I mean? Like, that he's so reliant on that number one guy. Because you got, like, the Sean McVays and you got Kyle Shanahan that can...
I don't think McDaniels he's a development coach. Like, I don't think he has that in him. Like, he'll coach. Yeah. He'll come up with a great game plan and scheme like that. But I don't think he's a developmental guy.
Right. You know, like, you see the Shanahan, you know, you could stick Purdy in there. You stuck, you know, he had Jimmy Garoppolo, and he made him look both of them looking awesome. And then you got McVay. You had Baker Mayfield to show up, 3 days before the game a couple years ago, and he looked like an MVP in that game. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Miami's whole offense really runs on timing, though. So if you put somebody in there and they don't know, they can't get that timing down, I mean, they're gonna be screwed. That's Skylar Thompson's just not a guy that's going to be able to do that.
They'll have to run the ball too. They have to be able to run the ball, you know, Mostert and HN. And if they can't really get that going to some extent, then, you know,
they had it going on us. And I mean, I think that defensively, you know, McDermott's bend don't break. However annoying it is, it's effective. And then when they get out in the red zone, they really put the pressure on. And I'd say probably 8 out of 10 times they come out, you know, not giving up a touchdown.
Yeah.
They may go 3, but
Patriots were like that for how many years, you know, towards not in the 27, you know, that 2007, 2011, but like after 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, like that kind of what they were becoming was that bend and don't break type of thing. They'd get down there, and you couldn't score.
Yep.
So,
I mean, we pulled it out, obviously, tail end. And it wasn't Josh putting on the cape and all that. In fact, he underthrew. I think he might have hurt his throwing hand towards the tail end, that second to last series.
Yeah.
Because if you noticed, he underthrew like 4 out of the next 5 balls.
Well, I think it happened quite often.
Kincaid. Yeah. I mean, I felt like he could have hit Kincaid on that deep route. That's a throw that he's made in the past, that deep out route. But so who steps up but Big T Bass himself, who maybe a week ago or 2 weeks ago on the podcast were like, not clutch. Can't do it. What's he doing?
Like, why haven't we signed a new kicker yet?
He missed the extra point earlier in the game, and then we ended up going for 2. Coleman catches it. He doinks the next one off the left upright. And, I mean, he's always left hash, and I feel like he plays a ball that it starts left and fades back right. But, man, walk up and smoke a 61-yarder that was probably good for like 66.
I was going to say, 65, 66. Yeah.
I mean, Tyler Bass redemption. I don't know if you saw the Allen on the field afterwards, choked up, talking about it. Like, that he was emotional for Bass, and even in the locker room at the end.
I saw the speech. Yeah.
Yep. So,
part of me wonders if Bass has been going through a little bit more than just in his own head. Like if he's actually dealing with like stuff
I don't
that's
know.
just messing with him.
Yeah,
But
it's definitely a confidence issue. I
Yeah.
know that's part of it. I think this was big for his ego,
oh yeah,
and should hopefully transcend a little bit more. But I think I agree. Maybe there's something else going on.
Yeah. And you know what's, I mean, he's missed some extra points, obviously, this year. A couple of bad ones. And you look back, though, we've had 3 blocked. I looked at it earlier, and there was one where, I don't know if you remember, the ball only went like 15 yards high, and it went 35 yards left. And it
Against
was
the Jets.
was it against that's oh yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah.
That, this is the line game.
Yep.
And that had a hand on it. And I wonder too, is he worried about guys blocking his kicks, so he's rushing or not hitting the same way that he was before? Because they've gotten or given up some, pardon the term, they've given up some penetration on the kick. So, but I do like the fact though that he's going back to full power kicks.
Yeah, follow
And
through.
maybe that's why he was doing the quick line drive as opposed to the full process, because they were getting kicks blocked. I'm not sure. So
I guess we'll never know.
we'll never know. But as long as he keeps kicking the ball through the uprights,
Yeah.
I'm good to go on it.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Was that kick the longest in the stadium's history?
longest
Bills
in Bills
history. Bills history.
Yeah.
Yep.
61 yarder. I mean, you would think, but maybe you wouldn't, because nowadays it seems like everyone can kick a 60, a 61, 62. At least we've seen a bunch of them over the course
Yeah,
of
a
the
lot
last
a lot
few
more
years.
this. Yeah, a lot this year, last year.
And I'm surprised more that maybe somebody like Lindell had a leg, and what was the guy right before Tyler? Hauschka. I felt like Hauschka
Right.
kicked some pretty long
Hauschka.
balls.
Yeah, he kicked well.
He was never the same after he got smoked by, who was it, Richard Sherman?
Yeah, his knee. Yeah, I
Yeah.
actually saw that video on TikTok like 2 or 3 days ago. I don't know where it came from, but I think it was just Richard Sherman talking trash video kind of thing. I don't know, but yeah, I just saw a couple of days ago, and yeah, he gets wrecked.
He had no penalty either.
Yeah. Yep.
So as far as getting wrecked goes, the double agent himself, Jordan Poyer.
Oh, I thought we were going
Smokes.
Yankees. I thought we were going Yankees here.
No,
Oh, it was too
Sure.
soon. Sorry.
Yeah, smokes. Smokes. Yeah, Coleman.
Yeah.
Helmet to helmet. Coleman hurts his wrist. Like you said earlier, Mitch, they've been real tight-lipped about what that situation entails, but I'm nervous for the long term. Yeah, I feel like he's just kind of gotten. I mean, he dropped that ball, obviously, but he's really gotten into his groove. Just making some separation or finding holes in zones or whatever. He had 2 great back-to-back weeks. He only had 1 catch for 20 yards and then the 2-point conversion, but that ball was in his hands until Poyer crushed his face.
Right.
So-
His hand, like holding the football, is what got hit, like hitting here, in between Poyer and the ball himself.
Yeah. So hopefully it's not an extended injury. I don't think we can beat Kansas City in 2 weeks without Coleman healthy or Coleman involved.
Right.
Not just healthy, but involved in the game, and Cooper on the field. Kansas City is too good defensively, which is not something you typically think of. At least I don't. I don't typically think of their defense when I think of Kansas City. You think of Mahomes, Kelsey. You know,
Well, and I think if Coleman's not good to go this week, they have to play Cooper.
if he's healthy,
going in Indianapolis, even if he's a distraction, just running fake routes, and he's got to be on the field. Otherwise, you're not going to get any separation on the outside. I mean, who else do you got?
Yeah, I don't even know who's going to take Coleman's spot if he's not in there, because they're going to have to bring somebody up.
Yeah, because MVS is gone.
So I don't even know who you're going to put in there.
if Coleman and Cooper are out,
Cooper are out, yeah.
then you're going to have Shakir at the one.
Shorter.
And you'd have Matt Collins, you'd have Samuel.
Or
Shorter.
Samuel.
They got that Virgil guy. Yeah.
He was on there towards the end of the game, 3 plays?
I mean, they were saying on the radio, I think he's the only wide receiver on the team that hasn't caught a touchdown. This Samuel.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Well, he's
Deion
due, right?
Dawkins
He's due.
catching one before he does.
That's
Samuel's starving.
we've seen
Yeah.
other linemen catch touchdowns. So
Mhm.
I'd love to see
Yeah.
Kincaid had 10 targets last game. Most on the team by a long shot. Well, it's Shakir at 7. But he only had 4 catches. Now, granted, some of those were he gets the target on a throwaway. Like a couple times Allen threw it above his head on the sidelines and whatever. But, man, I just want Kincaid to be so good. And I think he's capable of being so good.
Yeah. I mean, he actually does break away from a lot of the coverage. And he finds those soft spots.
but he's not the first or second read a lot of the times, which being a
Man,
first round, being a draft pick the way he is, I can understand that. I understand everybody gets the ball, spread it around, see, don't force anything. But at the end of the day, I mean, you got to feed the good guys.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, as far as that's concerned, kind of around the league this week, couple of interesting games. I felt like the Bengals have just been on a run over the last few weeks. Now, granted, they were playing the Raiders this week, not the best team in football by a long shot, but Burrow threw 5 TDs and was still pissy on the sidelines. He was still mad at people for running the wrong routes and stuff like that, which was, from our side of the house, I don't think that 3 teams get in from the AFC North into the playoffs, but I wouldn't want to play a healthy Bengals offense personally.
No, they're so dangerous with just the amount of depth they have, and they're fast, and they just good at catching the ball, just getting open.
They have our number. Go ahead, man,
Yeah.
sorry.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, but again, they don't have Moss as their running back, right? Well, as the running back, he's out possibly for the rest of the season. They were very, very successful with Joe Mixon, so I think it's a different team, and they're kind of actually coming into their own. But I think it's a more pass offense than it was run prior, which kind of plays into our strong suit more so than pass. But something interesting I heard talking about today was the Jets. Actually, they're coming off a win. They have a very weak schedule to finish out the year, with Buffalo being the toughest team on the schedule by far. Majority of the teams they play have a losing schedule, are below 500. So you can look for them to make a final push, possibly finishing 10-7, 11-6.
That'd be interesting because they'd have to pretty much win out to get there, right? Because they would
only be able to lose to us, and they'd be 10-7.
So they got the Cardinals this week, the Colts next week, the Seahawks, the Dolphins, the Jaguars, the Rams, and then the Bills.
The
and
Rams
then
is a tough one. But are they playing the Rams at home?
No, yes, they're playing the Rams at Life.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, the Seahawks are so inconsistent, and they could play so well at times, but
not having Metcalf makes them such a one-dimensional team.
Yep. Yeah. Well, their defense isn't what it used to be either by any means. Like after the Bills played them, they're talking about the days of Legion of Boom are way gone.
Oh yeah.
Their defense, even the coach, different coaching, so they're not the same defensively. They're not the same team.
It really just depends on how, especially the Legion of Boom action. You talk about like Witherspoon's obviously like their best corner and best secondary player. And if he's like not into the game or whatever, if he has some calls called against him, then he's completely taken out of the game. He doesn't. Yeah. He's not that guy that's just at this point in his career that's just going to completely just shut down one side of the field. He's ball hawk, no doubt. I mean, he can. I mean, I remember watching him last year. I think they played the Giants Monday night, and he had 2 or 3 picks, and he took one back, for a touchdown.
Yeah, took it to the house. Yeah.
No, well, I think the Bills, the Rams, and they probably split with the Dolphins. in that scenario.
Yeah.
I mean, the Dolphins look like trash, dude.
Well, they played good against us this week.
I think the Dolphins could definitely beat the Jets. I mean, I think there's
see.
a possibility. I mean,
I think it's comparable. It's a division game.
yeah, I think they're going to be able to. I mean,
Yeah,
Sauce
they have the
Gardner's-
Dolphins
he's
twice
not
still, right?
bad,
Yeah,
but he's
so
just not. I don't think he's going to be able to stop them every single time.
think
Stick with him.
come down to weather.
100%. The everyone's favorite Carolina Panthers spoiled the return of Mr. Carr down there, who was getting slammed on Twitter by Michael Thomas.
Michael
after the Ohio
Thomas.
injury.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Slant was just hitting those Twitter fingers were going crazy.
Well, and you think he played a combined like 6 games at 3 years or something like that?
There was a whole bunch of talk about him signing with the Bills at one point in the offseason.
It was after he came off. It was an ankle, maybe. I don't remember what it was for him, but he was out for like a year and change straight with that injury. And people were saying he just didn't want to come back and play.
Yeah.
Real quick, Daniel Jones wins angry runs this week.
Yeah, I saw that.
Did he really?
I mean, I don't think Cook should have been in the discussion. Like, that was
It
a
was a
team
good play.
push. That was a team push. Like, it wasn't. Yeah, I mean, but
It was more Mac Hollins
Daniel Jones
than it was anything else. But Jaden Daniels, he continues to impress. He's having a CJ Stroud type of rookie year.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for
sophomore
Mr.
slump
Goose,
for Stroud. Yeah, he's killing my fantasy team.
So
Yeah. I mean, last week, the game, I had both TVs going. I had the Bills on the main one, and I had the Giants game on the smaller TV, sitting on the table or whatever, watching both. And it was impressive because I really thought they would just split, just typical. They ended up just splitting the games or whatever. But Giants defense, which has been fairly decent, pass rush and stuff, they couldn't get any pressure on Jaden Daniels, like 0. And they couldn't stop them whatsoever. I mean, they were making a push to come back, and they got the touchdown late, over the middle of Theo Johnson, and then I know you guys didn't watch the game, but
Nope. I watched the game tracker. That was it.
Yeah, I'm just kind of talking to myself right now. But
they were my 4 pick. So,
but then Jaden just comes right down the field and they scored, and it's like, okay, the game. Well, actually, they get down and they get all the way down to the first down. I think they were on the 3-yard line, and they just kneeled it out because the Giants didn't have any more timeouts. So
yeah, I did see the actual last few minutes because the game switched over on the TV.
yeah, same.
Yeah.
Real quick, let's go around the table real fast. Best team in the AFC, best team in the NFC. Let's see if it's all a consensus. Alex, hit us first.
The AFC, I mean, I hate to say it, but I really do think Baltimore's probably the best team right now, AFC.
Okay.
I mean, I'd love to say the Bills, but I mean, they beat us, and I think that they're probably up there.
Gotcha. What about your NFC pick?
Well,
I mean, you got to go Detroit.
but yeah. I probably Detroit. Yeah.
Okay. I was like, is Alex running through the Rolodex in his head of who's in the NFC?
Yeah, I'm really trying to think of.
Yeah, Goose, what's your AFC and NFC pick?
So AFC, and the only reason I'm saying this, and they haven't looked the best, but the only reason I'm saying it is because they're undefeated, and they're the team to beat. They're the best. They're the best team right now. They're 8-0.
Yeah.
They're gonna win this week too. Well, actually, we'll see. I don't know. This week could be
Denver's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'd rather them actually beat Denver and then go into the game in Buffalo undefeated. But that's
In
just
Buffalo, yeah.
rather than losing and then have coming out pissed. Especially with our wide receiver situation. But anyway, right now I'm thinking it's the Chiefs in the AFC, and I'm going to probably go with the Lions in the NFC at this point. So.
Mitch?
Yeah, I'm 60-40. Baltimore, Buffalo, and then the Chiefs. Yeah, roll your eyes all you want. Anyways,
no, I was doing math in my head. Which was 16, which was 40.
Buffalo,
and then,
Baltimore.
Okay.
Yeah, Buffalo, Baltimore, and then Chiefs. I think Buffalo and Baltimore are very close. Buffalo's, I think their holdback right now is injuries, and the Chiefs, I can't get behind their wins. I mean, the refs have helped them out time and time again. Last game, they had a false start, clear as day, false start, and it's always the same guy, and it's always 2 or 3 times, always 2 or 3 times in the most important parts of the game, and there's never a flag against the guy. I don't even know his name, and I should at this point because I probably cursed it 17 times when they played Buffalo previously. So, and then obviously, yes, the Lions. I think they're we'll see them in the Super Bowl. Unless something drastic happens, I think that's where they'll end up.
Yeah. I'd say I got Baltimore as my number 1, but I have the Chiefs as a very close 2 for the reasons they are undefeated, obviously. But they're also super injured, and they're still managing to win the tight games that they should win, obviously. Maybe you're not, you're kind of hoping to beat Tampa 40-20, 21, whatever, but they managed to do it every freaking time.
So,
I mean,
Travis Kelce looks very,
is,
very slow.
Very slow.
He's not the same that he used to be.
He's put on some weight. He looks a little chunky. Saw him pregame warm-ups.
I noticed him. He did like this. I can't remember. It was like a commercial or it was like a promo or whatever. He like walked down the hall and there was like a family standing there. And I looked at him. I was like, is that Travis Kelce? Dude,
he's got some love weight. You know, when you love, you add 15 pounds.
It's like, hey, I got a girlfriend.
He's doubled down.
I mean, he is 36, 37, 36, right? I mean,
35,
we've all
35.
been there.
But either way.
Yeah. So, but yeah, in mid-30s, happens.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm thin, but
you're also not a tight end in the NFL either that has, But I do remember the Chiefs, like facilities and wait staff or whatever got like last in the NFL, right? Or something. Like their training facility, it was rated like worse in the NFL.
Yeah, you got a billionaire girlfriend. You should be able to go wherever you want.
Camera adds 5 pounds. It looks like you ate 3 cameras.
I will say the Chiefs. The biggest thing with the Chiefs too is Chaco's coming back in a couple weeks. And
who's coming back?
Chaco.
His voice.
Oh, Pacheco. Okay.
Pacheco's coming back in a couple weeks, and then they added Hopkins, which I know you guys were all down on him.
He had a good game.
He had a real good game.
He's going to be motivated, and he's a beast. He's going to he's going to play a big role for them.
He had a good game. I will say he made some good clutch catches, and so can't hate on it.
Touchdowns, right?
Yeah. Not a fan, but you just traded him away to Jordan. So
I know. Well, when I traded him away, Cooper had just come off a 4-catch, 60-yard and a touchdown, and then he didn't get a target the next week after he fell down.
You're the commish; you can reverse it.
I could, but then I'd be just like Jordan. So I couldn't do it. I'll eat the D-Hop trade, and you know what the best part though? He wasn't touching my starting lineup unless something happened, anyways. So it's fine.
Yeah, I had Olave go down, and I put him in last week. He ended up winning me my week because of him, 2 touchdowns. But
right. Speaking of the Saints earlier losing the Panthers, the Saints fired their coach. And then Big Meech here read somewhere that Joe Brady might be a candidate for that role, right?
Yeah, it was actually an article on Facebook. I think it was
Abraham Lincoln.
I can't remember, but it was a local Buffalo article, possibly talking about Joe Brady taking the Saints head coaching job. Title of the article was "Buffalo may lose Joe Brady sooner than later," which would be pretty scary for Buffalo. I think he's been a welcomed change. I mean, you can't have any consistency in offensive coordinator. Brian Daboll taken off to go to the Giants after 2 years, and now Joe Brady into a year and a half, not even into his season as an offensive coordinator. And
this will be his first full year.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah. I mean, at right now, a season point right now, this is 1 full year for him. So to lose another offensive coordinator after a year. I mean, great kudos to Buffalo and the talent that's there, and the management and all that kind of stuff to produce and to seek the right coach. But I don't know, that would really suck for Buffalo.
Yeah. I mean, it would make sense from the standpoint that he was obviously at LSU and this and that, but I don't know. He was a quarterback's coach for a couple years. I mean, he went to the OC position in Carolina and it's dreadful. I mean, obviously it was Carolina, but then he became quarterback's coach, did a decent job at that at Buffalo, and then he got the OC interim and then full. So I don't know if he's got enough quote unquote experience necessarily to be like a head guy at this point. I mean,
Well, the crazy part is they've been talking about it since before the season even started. Yeah. So, I mean, you take over an offense mid-season and you put as many wins on the board as you did and go on a run like that, and then you turn around and you start the season off on a 3-game win streak.
Yeah.
I mean, what is there not to like? Yeah, he may not be the most experienced guy, but if you put him on a team that's rebuilding perfectly, Saints, I mean, they're going to probably be drafting a quarterback this coming year. I would assume so.
I don't know. They got Spencer Rattler.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So Kamara's at the end of his career, I think, at the Saints. Probably would be a trade subject. I don't know. I just don't see them hopefully not getting rid of him or allowing it to happen and maybe matching some money-wise to keep him, but we'll see.
Yeah, I agree with you, Goose, though. I don't think that it would be a good move for him to even do that, especially for the Saints and for Joe Brady. I don't think he's geared to be able to do that right now.
For him, one way to look at it is, Ben Johnson with the Lions to some extent. I mean, he's had head coach interviews last 2 off seasons and then just decided to stay because it's just not the right position. Now, I think actually the Commander's position probably would have been a decent position for him in this case because that was the one that he ended up pulling out. He was supposed to have.
He was supposed to have it,
he just didn't show up or whatever, and then called it like, "Yeah, I don't want it." And it's kind of weird. But
yeah, he was the front runner for the Commander's job.
Yeah. So I mean, I think he would have done a decent job with that one, given the fact that they had the 3rd overall pick, and they probably would have ended up with Jaden Daniels anyway, or the 2nd overall pick. Sorry. So I think you would have seen Jaden Daniels doing just as well potentially. So I don't know if it really would change anything for him, but I don't know.
So yeah, hopefully we can hold on to him. We'll see where it goes, and hopefully it's just a rumor.
It would really be awful for the Bills because our whole system would have to change.
Yeah,
because I think they really built that around what Brady wanted to do, and we'd be kind of screwed the next year.
Right.
So you never know. You guys can get Dayball back. You never know if
he may not have a job ever this year.
I think he's going to stay. I think he'll be sticking around. Although we'll see. It seems to be a curse with Carolina. You lose to Carolina, you get axed the very next day.
Did I read that Daniel Jones was going to be benched for the rest of the year?
No, he's not going to be. She'll be.
No.
I care less. I mean, he's going to start the whole rest of this year, unfortunately. But
really, in the sense that you paid him, so ride it out and prove that it's not worth it.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but I don't know what they would do even in the offseason to some extent, quarterback wise, because at this point, I think they're sitting at, the 6th or 7th pick in the draft at this point. So again, you're still too far up there to get one of the quote unquote top guys, which essentially is Shador and Cam Ward at this point.
I think Manning's not going to declare. He's been advised not to.
No, it wouldn't make any sense for him. He's only started 2 games in his collegiate career, so he's not coming out to at least next year. He's actually 2 years away.
I feel like it's very much turning into how basketball was, in the sense that these guys aren't completing 4 years of college, let alone 3 years. There's a lot of people coming out after 2 years and declaring for the draft.
Arch at this point is probably making more money in college than he would make on a rookie contract.
Yeah, that's true too.
And Shador is definitely making more now than he. And so it doesn't make any sense. I mean, Jackson Dart's a guy that you might want to look at to some extent at this point. He's at Ole Miss. I mean, he just had like a couple 500-yard games back to back. So, and they're going up against, I think they're playing Georgia this week, I think.
Georgia,
so,
yeah, big game for them.
So big game this weekend in college football. Saturday, I think it's at 3:30. But I mean, if he keeps trending that way, I think he could end up being that guy that ends up surprising people that wasn't rated that high at the beginning of the year, and then all of a sudden he just ends up in that top position, because the two guys they really thought were going to be the top picks, Carson Beck and Quinn Ewers, are just not good. They're just not good. Yeah. Carson Beck, he had three picks. I think he's got 11 touchdowns and 13 picks on the year.
That's crazy. I think he leads the league. Or well,
yeah.
Go ahead.
I mean, he had 3 picks in the first half. I mean, kudos to him for being able to come back like in the second half and throw 2 touchdown passes and look halfway decent. But Ewers isn't good under pressure, so it's just, I don't know. This year's not a good quarterback class. I mean, outside of Shador and at this point, and Cam Ward, but I don't know. So,
well, as we talk draft picks, let's switch it over to NFL picks. So we're gonna do this down the run here. First game of the week on Thursday night, we have the Bengals at the Ravens. Ravens are 6-point favorites. I am going to take the Cincinnati Bengals.
I'll second that.
Third.
Take the Ravens on this one.
Ooh, Alex trying to make up the difference on the scoreboard.
I'll take the Ravens money line, please. What's the spread? 440.
It's all money lines. But next one is Bills.
I thought we were doing spreads.
Nope, straight money lines.
Well, then I'm taking the Ravens.
Bills at Colts. I'm just telling the spread so people know who the favorites are.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay.
I did pretty good. I did pretty good. 14-6, not even known. So,
yeah. Well, you got the money.
That's it
may not have covered, but they got the money line.
Yeah.
Bills at Colts. Bills are 4-point favorites. I'm taking the Bills.
Actually, I saw 3. It's down to 3. DraftKings.
I'm taking the Bills. Yeah.
A little worried about the run defense and the wide receiver situation, but I'll take the Bills in this one, in which will end up probably turning into a 8-2 match for the Bills against the Chiefs being 10-0, which
right
in Buffalo. So
yeah. Just hope it doesn't turn into the last time we played the Colts here.
Tickets costing $500+.
Did you check the Bills, Mitch?
Yes, of course.
All right, perfect. Giants at Panthers in Munich, Germany. Giants are 6.5-point favorites. I am going to take the New York Giants.
I'm going to take the Panthers. Jonathan Brooks is now off the IR and will get some playing time on Sunday. And he's been at practice already for a while. So I think the Panthers are going to pull this one out.
I'm going to go with the Giants in this one.
Yeah, I think the Giants handle this one. I think they run the ball fairly well with Tracy, and they just feed Malik Neighbors and just feed. Yeah, he played last week.
No, I thought he got hurt on Sunday.
No, he was in concussion protocol last week or the week before. So yeah. Gotcha. So I think they're just going to feed Tracy, and they're just going to feed Malik Neighbors. And I think they're going to try and run it up, and I think they're just going to go after Bryce Young pretty hard.
Makes sense.
Sorry, can I hop in there real quick? Do you like Tracy better than Singletary?
Yes.
Yeah. I think he'll be better.
He's a better option. I mean, he's a better runner. He sees the field a little bit better, and he's a much better pass catcher. I mean, he was a wide receiver in college.
I know he was a better pass catcher. I wasn't sure, but I haven't watched too many Giants games, so I haven't really seen him play. His stats are decent, but I know he was a receiver in college, so.
Seems to be a little bit more patient hitting the hole, and then when he hits it, he's got a little bit more speed versus Singletary, and the hole closes a little too quick for him. in that scenario. So
yeah, I think it's the same struggle as he did in Buffalo.
yeah,
Singletary's biggest strength in Buffalo was that he could make the first guy miss when our offensive line wasn't that good.
Right. Yeah.
How many times did he get out
turned
of
a 3-yard, 4-yard loss? Yeah.
into a 1 or
Yep.
2 yard gain?
Yep.
So, Broncos at Chiefs. Chiefs are 8-point favorites. Who's going to take the risk here?
Chiefs.
Not
Chiefs.
this time taking the Chiefs.
Not-
Yeah.
if it was-
Now,
no,
I'll
If
take
it was
I'll take the
in
Broncos with the
Denver-
spread.
if it was in Denver, I would pick the Broncos. But given that it's in Kansas City, I'm gonna stick with the Chiefs at this point.
Then Bo chokes on the big stage.
He played terrible last week. The only touchdown they scored was the one that he caught. And Cortland Sutton made a better throw than Bo Nix did the whole time.
Yep.
Guy in his face across the field.
Yeah, I saw it. You let Cortland Sutton throw a touchdown on you?
Steelers at Commanders. Washington are 3-point favorites. I am going to take the Steelers.
I am as well.
Yeah. I'm going to take the Steelers as well.
I
Yeah.
think Najee's going to have a day.
So everyone's Steelers there.
Yeah.
I'm putting my cards on, or my money on Mike Tomlin against a rookie QB. That's really where I'm laying my
Makes sense.
chips down.
TJ Watt's gonna have 3 sacks.
I can see
Yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to put
Yeah.
that in a parlay.
There you go.
I'll send it to you guys.
Next is Vikings at Jags. Minnesota's
Vikings.
4-point favorite.
Yeah. Yeah. the
Only
Vikings.
4. Only
No,
4.
it's four.
Wow. Yeah, I'm going to take the Vikings.
So that's another sweep. Got 3 sweeps in a row here. All right.
I bet you Doug Peterson's gone after that game.
That's a good chance.
Depends how close the game is. I think, but yeah, he's got a chance. Definitely. I was surprised if they hadn't pulled out that game a couple weeks ago. I think he'd be gone already. But the 6-3 Falcons at the Saints. The Falcons are 3.5-point favorites.
Yep.
Going
Bijan.
Falcons. Yeah.
Falcons.
ATL across the board. These little indicators here are gonna let's be up here for a second. The Buccaneers are hosting the 49ers. San Fran is a 6.5-point.
San Fran, McCaffrey's back.
Is he
playing
back?
Sunday? He'll be playing. He's expected to play Sunday.
Yeah. If he's
Dangerous.
playing, I'm going to take 49ers.
I'll take Tampa Bay.
Oh,
I took Carolina. He took Tampa Bay. That'll be the difference makers there.
I mean, to me, Tampa Bay just played a pretty good game.
Yeah, but
Again,
I don't have enough weapons.
No, I get it, but either does San Fran.
yeah. I was gonna say San Fran doesn't have any weapons on offense at this point outside of McCaffrey, which is a
Kittle.
lot.
Kittle.
But he's coming off. Oh, Kittle's back too. Okay,
Yeah.
so, yeah. I don't know. I didn't think Tampa had any chance in Kansas City, but they played it right up to the end. So
They're playing
I'm
in.
actually
Oh yeah, Tampa's hosting.
in
Yeah.
Tampa. So I'm actually gonna go with Tampa Bay too.
Okay, you got it. Perfect. Goose and I versus
Bunch
the
of losers.
world. Rude. Patriots
On your
at
birthday.
I know. Patriots, no respect. Patriots at Bears. Bears are 6.5-point favorites after the smackdown they just took last week.
Yeah, still gonna stick with him.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Yeah. Be able to pull it out.
In Chicago,
In Chicago.
Don't even think of it like it's a debate, bro. It's the freaking
I don't know.
Patriots. They're
If it was
vying
Belichick-
for the Panthers for the worst team in the NFL.
I go with the Bears.
If it was Belichick, even with this team, I would take the
Oh,
Patriots.
I take the Patriots if it's Belichick. Yeah, I'd think about it at least.
Well, his record against rookies was like something crazy. It
Yeah,
was like 26-3, something dumb
defensive
like that.
schemes.
Titans at Chargers. Chargers are 7.5-point favorites. I will be rocking the Bolt.
Same. Pollard's and
Chargers.
Chiefs.
LAC for everybody. Eagles at the Cowboys, America's team. Eagles
Rush.
are 7-point favorites.
Dak's out.
Yeah,
Cooper
Eagles.
Rush is Eagles.
Eagles for the sweep.
Eagles for the
Yep.
sweep.
Presents Papale return a touchdown out of retirement. The Jets at Cards, even money, no favorites.
Who's home?
I'm going to take, even
Cards.
after that discussion earlier, I'm taking the Cards.
I'm taking the Jets on this one.
I'm taking the Jets indoors.
Both teams are so inconsistent.
Right.
Yep.
I think it's going to come down to defense, and the Jets' defense, I think, is steadily getting a little bit better.
We got two for the Jets, one for the Cardinals at this point.
Yeah.
I'll just go with the
Cardinals
Cardinals.
last
Make
week.
it even. Yeah, I'll take the Cardinals and make it even split again.
Perfect.
Get it either way.
We have the Detroit Lions at the Houston Texans. Detroit's 3.5 favorites.
I'm surprised that line's so small. The way Houston's been playing, it hasn't
Usually
been great.
get 3 points for being home.
2.5.
But,
Yeah,
2.5. Okay,
Yeah.
so that would be a 6-point spread in a neutral site.
And it's indoors too, which Lions
That
play
helps.
better indoors
Yeah.
in most cases. So
Yeah, I'm
The
taking
Nico
Detroit.
Collins is
I'm taking
back.
Detroit.
I'll go
Nico
Detroit.
Collins is back. I don't know how effective he's going to be though.
Yeah, I give him a
Everyone
week or
take
two.
Detroit.
Yep.
Yeah. I'll be different. We'll take
No.
Texans.
I'm playing catch up down there in the right hand corner of my screen.
Yeah.
All right, and the last
Yes,
game,
God has big game.
last game of the week, Dolphins at Rams on Monday night. Rams are a 1-point favorite.
Rams.
Rams.
Yeah.
Rams.
Hopefully Nakua doesn't get suspended.
No, well, and so
Yeah,
we're
true.
sitting going into this week at Adam and Mitch tied at 14-4, Alex at 12-6, and Goose at 11-7. We have a couple different picks this week, so we'll see where we end up. Speaking of wins and losses, our Buffalo Sabres, our beloved Buffalo Sabres,
Hey, they won
Um,
yesterday.
they did win. They
They
beat
did.
Ottawa yesterday.
Yeah.
Um,
Pretty handily. It's 2 goals in 16 seconds.
Yeah.
to
That was
start
a good
the
game, I
period.
guess.
Yeah. 5-1 was the final.
I was watching on Game Tracker, and it was 2-1 at the end of the second. I refreshed it just to see, like, hey, had the third started yet? And it said 4-1. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, what?
I was going to
What
take
hap-
Buffalo too yesterday, and they didn't. I was like, well, they
So-
freaking suck right now. But so I didn't take them. Yeah.
Lindy seems to really be having some accountability for those guys. Didn't he have Samuelson sit out? Who else? There's another defenseman.
I
So
guess I said something today on Facebook. It was like that Lindy's Hard Knocks seems to be paying off for Buffalo.
yeah, he said something like, I've been patient with these guys, but I can only go so far. So
Or we'll see if Lindy's Hard Knocks pays off for Buffalo or something like that. Yeah.
yeah,
I saw Samuelson was quoted as saying, essentially, I'm not playing well enough to be in the starting lineup, so I need to play better, which is a relatively mature answer at the very least. So,
but now I think they're like in our conference or whatever. They're still pretty low down, aren't they?
yeah, I'm trying to pull up the standings right now for
they're like second from the bottom or something.
Yeah, super early.
ESPN doesn't love it.
Yeah, it is early.
I mean, it's better than starting off freaking 6-2 or 9-3, 9-4 for 16
Rest of the
weeks.
season.
Yeah.
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 I mean, Sabres are 5-7-1 right now,
Yeah,
and that's obviously not the best. That's enough to be second to worst in the East or the Atlantic, excuse me.
yeah.
Yeah, they're already 8 points behind Florida.
But we beat them, so
Yeah, and then they
maybe they'll come
smoked-
back to help us.
You remember them?
Yeah,
smoking
that
our-
was smart.
Ryan
I
Hart scored
beat you at
2
the beginning of
goals,
this year.
rubbed it in our face.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, well, hopefully they'll figure it out. But I do like the accountability from Ruff on that. So,
Yeah.
Goose, you want to talk World Series?
It is what it is. I mean, Dodgers were better team. That's all there is to it. I mean, it just did. I mean, they went through it, and I guess started looking at it. The Dodgers actually apparently like that was the team they actually would rather have played was the Yankees because the Yankees fielding was just so bad, like rating wise and analytically wise throughout the year that their scouts were just like, just put the ball in play and see what happens. And unfortunately, the Yankees are too analytically driven, and they always have been, and they always will be. Instead of just putting the ball in play, they have to try and just hit the ball, and the stupid launch angles and all that sort of crap. And it just put the ball in play, for goodness sake.
I will say I've never seen two teams that could hit the ball, but in the same sense, like that's not Cleveland's game. So Cleveland's a very much so a small ball game, base hits, singles, doubles, score your runs. And I think that bodes well much better against the Dodgers than it did against the Yankees, obviously. But I think I don't know. New York just couldn't hit the ball. Period.
Yeah, not until game 4, and then the first 5 innings of game 5. And I mean, but they still left a ton of people on base in game 5. I mean, I think in the 3rd or 4th inning, I can't remember, they were threatening again and they had the bases loaded and
strike out.
Somebody grounded out. I think Jazz Chisholm grounded out to first base or something. And it's just like, so I'm just sick and tired of just ground outs, and the bases are loaded. I don't know. All you got to do is get a single. Like I don't know. But I was going to come on here and start throwing Mitch's phrase out. It was staged, it's rigged. They wanted Shohei to win type of thing. But no, the Yankees just weren't as good of a team as the Dodgers were, plain and simple. And the Yankees pitching, which is starting pitching, which was supposed to be the advantage that they had.
Yep.
Their game 2 and 3 starters, Carlos Rendon and Clark, didn't do anything. So, I mean,
I don't know if the S word's really a swear word.
Cole pitched really well in game 1. Should have probably left him in, and that's another thing is Aaron Boone overanalyzes the bullpen too much and just keep rolling with him. I mean, he's your ace. You're paying him $324 million.
Yeah, I think you guys went through your bullpen too much, too early.
Yeah. And it's just, and they don't have enough guys. So it is what it is. And I was just happy that they got there because honestly, it's been 15 years since they've gotten there. So just to get there and actually get past the division and the championship series, which they haven't been able to in the last couple of years because they would normally lose to, I was actually thinking they were going to lose to the Royals because I just thinking that it would just be a repeat of the last several years. But they need a lot of changes. I've been saying for years, and my brother's been screaming for years that Cashman needs to get fired. He's
you have a brother?
Aaron. Yeah. What? A younger brother. Yeah. Chipper.
I've known you for how Chipper?
Well,
Wait a second. I've known you for how long?
It's a nickname.
You got Chipper and Goose isn't?
It's so his real name is Chris, but we just call him. I've just called him Chipper since probably I don't know, like 7th grade.
Do you have a sister?
So
or it's just a brother.
No, just
okay.
No other siblings. So we've been screaming for years that Cashman needs to get fired. So and he's just too analytical, and supposedly their analytics department is one of the smallest in baseball, but they make all the decisions and they just tell Aaron Boone what to do, and Aaron Boone just does it. So they need to change it. They need a manager. They need a new manager, and they need a new GM. But they won't. Hal Steinbrenner won't do it, and I don't know if they're going to sign Juan Soto. I'll be interested to see if I don't know what's going to happen there. But again, it's just
Cole's coming back though, at least.
Yeah, Cole's coming back. I mean, they need more starting pitching too. I mean, you got
Trevino walking. Is he staying or is he
Trevino.
going?
So I think they didn't pick up his option, Lou Trevino. I think his $5 million option. I think they let it go. So I mean, which they can still sign him. They're just probably not gonna. They're not gonna pay him $5 million.
Right.
But and you're sitting there watching the game. Tommy Canley comes in, who had been super reliable, and I'm just sitting here screaming, "Throw a fastball! Just throw a fastball!" The guy throws 96, and he's just sitting there throwing changeups. He didn't throw one fastball in both the ALCS, I think.
That's his MO though. Like he didn't throw one fastball against
games,
Cleveland,
and then all the games against the Dodgers, he didn't throw one fastball. It was all changeups. And at that point, if I'm the Dodgers, I'm just sitting on the changeup, just sitting on it, and just making him throw strikes. Like don't even swing at it.
Yep.
Until it comes near the zone, then you swing at it. But it's just I don't know, the pitching coach should have gone out and sat and talked to him like, you got to throw a couple fastballs here. You have to. They won't do that. So I don't know. It's Yankees. So moving on, bigger, better thing. Syracuse basketball, and we got and
that's how you really feel.
Which almost lost to Lemoyne
the
other night, which was awesome.
Insane.
Lemoyne played really well, and Syracuse did not play well at all, and they didn't really play their top guys like in extended minutes. Like I would say, some of the guys that like the 7-8 guys played more than they would normally play to some extent. So
for those who don't know, Lemoyne is a small school right down the road from Syracuse.
Lemoyne actually just moved into
Division
One. They were Division One AA,
they're
and
a small school.
They're Division One. I think they're the NEC conference. Yeah, Northeastern Conference. So
not a division you get tattooed on your body after playing in it.
That's like playing Niagara. Like, what are you gonna do?
They actually got to play. Lemoyne's actually gonna go play UConn here like next week or in 2 weeks or something. So
you know what they have the Duke game is on a Wednesday.
I know. Well, I'm so irritated because I love going to that game. I love going to that game, and I always try to go to that game. I'm gonna be in Cincinnati that week. So, and I'm just I was like, it sucks. Like, I'm so irritated because Andy immediately asked me, when is the Duke game? I was like, it's February 5th. She goes, so you're going to be in Cincinnati. It's like, Cincinnati. So, yeah. Anyway, but
try selling a hotel for $500 a night on a Wednesday. It doesn't work.
That's going to be tough. And, but Syracuse football, I'll be interested to see what happens with them. I mean, I know we were all talking about going to the game on the 2nd, but I know, Vince's birthday ended up being Saturday, which is fine. It all worked out. It ended up being a nice, relaxing weekend for us. So the
Miami game at the end of the year. I mean, obviously they're away the next 2 weeks, and they're home to finish the season in the last 2 weeks to end with Miami. They beat Miami, man, at home.
That'd be it's gonna be rocking.
Yeah, they'll get a real good bowl game somewhere. Too.
Yeah. So,
all right, moving on.
Movies. So the movie this week was my pick. It was a Disney Plus favorite. That Thing You Do, starring Tom Hanks. Kind of, not starring.
Doing that thing you do.
So
beautiful.
I
was in chorus in 8th grade. So
let's Mitchell, why don't you start? Then we'll get you out of the way here.
Let it burn. Let it burn all night.
What did you think, and what's your rating?
I've seen the movie probably 1,000 times. Love it. It's one of my favorites. Thanks to my mother, big Tom Hanks fan. I don't know. I think it's a great movie all around. Not many people know about it. It got a really good score on Rotten Tomatoes, actually. I would give it, if I had to rank it, I would give it a 7.7. It's not 7.8. Lenny's my favorite character in the entire movie. The Disneyland scene, top notch. riding Thunder Mountain. Yeah, great movie.
Ghost hit us.
So this is actually the first time that I've seen it. I had never seen it before this. So I was actually impressed with the cast in this, because pretty star-studded cast. I started going through and looking at different people that were in it. Oh wow, like that person's in it, that person's in it, that person's in it, type of thing. So
yeah.
No, I mean it was good. I completely missed. I didn't know what the plot of the movie was, and I thought it was something else as I started the movie, and then all of a sudden, like I was like, oh, it's something like about this. So, yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I'd probably watch it again. I'd probably have Andy watch it. So, Tom Hanks movies are always good. So I'll probably go right around where Mitch was, probably that 7.4, 7.5 range. Good movie.
Sweet. Mr. Alex.
Yeah, I mean, I watched this a bunch of times as well. It's a really great movie. It's fun to watch. It's just easy to watch. But yeah, I always like the Jimmy when he's in the microphone quitting. He's just like,
I quit.
I quit. But
Effing quit.
Yeah. But yeah, I love that movie. So I'd give the same score, around like 7.5, 7.6.
Perfect.
But yeah, it's a great cast in it. It is crazy how many people are in there. You just don't realize it. I realized, well, who was Bryan Cranston's in it. I didn't even realize that.
Oh, yeah.
Like I watched it again. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he's Buzz Aldrin, right? Or what? Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that until when I rewatched it. I didn't know it was Bryan Cranston. But I also haven't watched it. Like I said last time, I haven't watched it in a long time. In fact, Guy's girlfriend at the beginning, the blonde, when she walks in, I'm like, I know who that is. And then it clicked. It was Charlize Theron, and I was like, oh wow,
oh yeah,
yep. And then there was someone else later, but yeah, a lot of folks that you'd recognize down the road.
The leaders.
Lenny's hilarious. And when he's talking about, I'm just like, I have a pig in the livestock competition. I will take home that Blu-ray. I was dying. So for me, now granted it's my pick, but the rewatchability is there, and I'm probably going to have it on Spotify, like all the songs from that. And they have, if you didn't know this, they have a full CD, which some of the songs from the CD are not in the movie. But I'm going to go 8-1 because of the rewatchability of that one. So, and you had to know the guy was going to end up with Liv Tyler at the end.
Yeah,
of course.
So, yeah.
Knew that from the beginning of the movie, but at some point, somehow. Yep.
Exactly. So that's where we stand on this one. It is updated in the rankings here. Alex, you are back on the list for our next movie, sir.
So my first choice that I was going to do, and then I was like, maybe I shouldn't do this because it's from the 70s. And so I rewatched it, and there's a few things in there that probably shouldn't be said, which was Slapshot. No, I was going to do Slapshot. But so I decided to switch it up and go Miracle.
Okay.
I haven't watched it in a while. And
it's funny, as you started saying, you said Stop Shot. I'm like, oh, it would be funny if you picked Miracle. And then you said,
it's a great movie.
Yeah. Great movie. Great movie.
Miracle it is.
You guys been to the Lake Placid, like the center up there? You guys been to the rink? No, it's really cool.
It's nice.
Really cool place up there. Yeah.
I've driven by Lake Placid itself a ton of times because there's I go up to Plattsburgh, which is 20, 30 minutes or so from there, but I have not stopped there. I need to. So
Placid, it's a fun. I mean, Andy loves going to Lake Placid. She actually lived in Lake Placid for summer, so she enjoys going to Lake Placid. I took her up there for like a surprise weekend or whatever. But yeah, and any of you guys ever go up there, like let us, unless you're actually going for like a romantic weekend, but just let us know. I mean, we'll
don't let me know.
We enjoy it. Yeah, we enjoy it. We enjoy good.
Oh, I see what you were getting at there. You didn't want to share. Okay, that's fine. There is a Lake Placid or a Lake Placid. There is a Crown Plaza up in Lake Placid. That is one of the hotels that I get discounts at. So.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
So that should wrap us up for this episode of Cold Front Convos. We will see you back here next time. Thanks so much for listening.
There, go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Happy birthday, Adam.
Happy birthday, Adam.
Happy birthday.